We have Liz Peek from the Fiscal Times and Jason Rotman from Lido Isle Investors. Liz, does it make you nervous when they talk about the adjustments? What do you think's really going on?
Well, I think it's a negotiation. I think we're in the early stages of that. As you know, the framework is there, but there's a lot of the details that have yet to be penciled in. So, yeah, I think there will be changes. Look, the GOP has done a pretty good job. The White House has done a good job of messaging this tax bill as very good for workers. The Democrats, of course, are saying it's a big break for the wealthy. So I think the Republicans can come through with some tweaks that'll make it even more user-friendly to the middle class and blue-collar workers that Donald Trump won in the 2016 election. But, yeah, I think there's probably changes to come.
Jason, I think that thing out there about not allowing people to deduct their state and local taxes, was dangled in front of the Democrats and those from those big states like California and New York. And now maybe that's what's being negotiated behind the scenes. That was lure to get them to the table. What do you think about that?
Being in California, I would love to be able to do that, number one. Number two, I think to kind of switch gears slightly, responding to the first guest comments, listen, I think Trump's tax cuts are not just a tax break for the wealthy, which is arguable. It's really about stimulating small businesses.
Totally.
I think that is really what a lot of people may be missing. It's really attacks the heart of America, people that want to start businesses, people that want to make more money than they do working for someone else. They will literally pay less taxes under this plan.
Yeah. No, Liz, I mean, they're going to try and paint it as a tax cut for the rich, but that's not actually what it looks like in reality. And, some people say it's not what you make, it's what you're allowed to keep.
Well, it's exactly right. And I think there are many things on the table, including certainly the estate tax. We're probably going to see some trimming of that or income adjustment of that or whatever. But, yes, the bigger message here is, and the reason the IMF cut their growth forecast, any possibility that tax cuts don't go through impinges on the growth rate of this country and job creation for this country. It's an incredibly important mission and probably the biggest thing Republicans have to do this year. And I think you are totally right. The state deductibility the deductibility of state and local taxes was clearly a bargaining chip, and it will be used in that way to get this done.
Meanwhile, threatening to shut down the government. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi vowing to fully use every possibility, including a government shutdown, to protect dreamers from deportation. Liz, the first thing that went through my head was if Republicans, anytime Republicans have threatened to shut down the government, or even just by just a smidgen suggested there'd be a shutdown, they were pilloried
Yes.
by the media. I don't see any such pillorying now, do you?
No, because this is a noble cause, the Dreamers. But look, you know what? Trump laid out a bunch of ideas for what could compensate, if you will, for immigration hawks who are opposed to this so-called amnesty for all these 800,000 Dreamers. I think a lot of what he proposed is excellent. For example, E-Verify, make it mandatory, make it harder for people not in the country legally to work. There are so many sensible ideas here, and it's a negotiation. Again, there are like 100 things thrown out there. Let's get some of these passed, and I think that's really positive for the economy and also for the GOP.
Well, and look at the market, Jason. I mean, no matter what happens on the immigration issue, the market seems to be going up. They don't really seem to care about this issue, do they, the traders?
No, not at all. I mean, the theme with the market is that the crisis is long gone. And number two, more importantly, the global economy is starting to become liberated from this sluggish growth since '08 that has caused all these negative interest rates in Europe, zero interest rates in the U.S. We're starting to see factually that the central banks are starting to tell the world that, listen, the economy is back on track, we're growing, and that's why we're at all-time highs. And I don't think we're going to stop here, honestly, David.
It's good news. Liz and Jason, good to see you both. Thank you very much.